The Justice League of America, DC's greatest superhero team. They are composed of some of the greatest and most well-known and loved heroes in all of comics and fiction. And while being the greatest hero team, it comes to no one's surprise that they have some of the greatest and strongest villains in all of comics. So today, I will be going over 5 of these insanely overpowered adversaries. With these 5 villains I've chosen are some of the most well-known and popular ones that are more Justice League villains than any particular hero's rogues gallery. So don't be expecting people like Doomsday or Brainiac here, as in all honesty those guys are way more Superman rogues than Justice League rogues. So if you guys want to see other Justice League villains in a part 2, make sure to get this video to 100 likes. Get it to 200 likes and I'll do top 5 rogues for each of the main JLA members. Now, let us begin with the baddest of the bad that DC Mythos has to offer. Our first supervillain we will be discussing is none other than the Justice League's first ever villain, aka Staro the Conqueror, who made his first appearance ever in Brave and the Bold 28 in 1960. Staro is a starfish-looking, giant, mind-controlling alien monster that invades planets in order to take over them with his Staro spores. He is one of the most dangerous rogues the heroes have ever faced off against. He is a being that has billions of mind-controlling, extremely durable Staro spores, or with each spore or probe having the mind-controlling abilities strong enough to work on the strongest minds on Earth or the entire universe, including but not limited to people such as Superman, Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern Corps. Even telepaths on the level of Martian Manhunter are not completely safe from Staro's mind-controlling abilities. Staro, by the way, is someone so insanely powerful, it took the Spectre to stop him in one occasion after he had taken over pretty much every mine on Earth. Staro's power is such that even Despero, a consistent team buster and a rival of Martian Manhunters, found out how small his powers were in comparison to the alien starfish gods, later being easily killed by Staro. Heck, in another instance, Staro once more humiliated Despero, this time taking out his third eye in order to fully take over his body, making the monster of Despero just another of Staro's puppets. Staro is a monster who has conquered 9 galaxies, having hundreds of trillions of lives under his control, with him having barely any weaknesses aside from his predictability and extreme cold temperatures, which further cements why he is for sure one of the most powerful and dangerous foes the Justice League has ever faced off against. Similar to Staro, our next villain on the list is yet another really old rogue, an overpowered OG that has made multiple appearances throughout all eras of DC, and that is none other than the super adapting android Amazo. Amazo, created by Dr. Rival, is a super android capable of adapting and replicating the superpowers of any metahuman he comes in contact with. He is an unstoppable force that almost always takes the entire combined strength of the Justice League to even stand a chance against him. With the strength of Superman, the speed of the Flash, the skills of Wonder Woman, powers of all the other leaguers like Black Canary, Firestorm, and even Martian Manhunter, as well as many others, this super android is one hell of a monster no hero wants to mess with. Our third entry is probably the strongest out of all the people we will be mentioning today. He is someone who literally caused a retcon in DC Comics. It was the first massive change, the first crisis. Of course I'm referring to the Anti-Monitor, aka the outer dimensional god of the antimatter universe. He was a being who sought the end of all life by consuming the multiverse in order to make everything his antimatter. He is the opposite of the guardian of the multiverse, the Monitor, his counterpart, his yin-yang, but way more powerful. So much so that it took the entirety of not only Earth 1, but Earth 2 heroes and some villains to hold him off, with even the Spectre and Mixie giving the heroes a hand against this outer-dimensional threat to the cosmos. And we can't forget that even the new gods, beings beyond the multiverse, decided that the best way to deal with the Anti-Monitor was to hide from him. Heck, the Anti-Monitor is someone so strong that even a weaker form of his was shown capable of fighting head-to-head against Darkseid himself, even surviving an attack from the Black Racer in that instance. He has taken onslaughts from armies of heroes, has resisted blows from Wally that had sent him through space and time, arriving in different universes with each punch. Heck, in another instance, it took Superman, Pre-Crisis Supergirl, Parallax Hal, and other heroes to push back a weakened Anti-Monitor. This guy is simply a force of nature, without a doubt one of the strongest and most powerful foes the Justice League has ever fought. So after possibly one of the top 5 DC threats of all time, it's time to talk about one of the most constant ones, which in this case won't be a particular person, but a collective of people who have dedicated themselves to making our heroes' lives hell. And yes, I'm referring to the greatest group of villains ever assembled, aka the Legion of Doom, aka the Anti-Justice League. And I know, this is a bit of a cop-out, as I'm literally having tens of villains in one place, with many of these villains falling into the category of rogues for many other heroes. But when we take all of them together in unison is when they truly become a consistent Justice League threat. And by the way, one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest. The reason being, they are a group of each and every main, secondary, and forgotten antagonist our heroes have ever had. From their leaders like Lex Luthor and Bando Savage, to the classic Batman rogues, masterminds like Joker and Ra's al Ghul, to Gorilla Grodd, Deathstroke, Manta, Bizarro, and many others. Heck, even the Flash rogues and Black Adam have been part of it. Probably every popular villain we know has made at least a team up with them, having countless interactions against the Justice League, with one of the most recently big ones being back in 2017-2018 when the Legion, empowered by Perpetua, possessed the higher dimensional powers of the totality and ended up nearly taking over the entire cosmos. With the combination of some of the greatest masterminds in DC, coupled with many of the absolute strongest powerhouses, the Legion of Doom is without a doubt one of the biggest, if not the biggest, thorn in the Justice League's lives. Now our last member for today's Justice League's Ops is none other than the outer dimensional god of evil and ruler of the most hell-like place in DC aside from hell itself, the most him of hims, the baddest man alive, only villain capable of backhanding to Superman at the same time and remaining nonchalant about it. Yes, we are talking about the new god, the ruler of Apocalypse, aka Darkseid. Darkseid, a villain who originally was a Superman rogue, transcended into one of the League's most menacing and formidable villains of all time. A literal god of evil who seeks nothing else but to control all of creation, taking away all free will with the anti-life equation. He has done it all, from killing entire worlds, demolishing and murdering other gods, rupturing the boundaries of space and time, battling the Sword itself, laughing off being disintegrated by the Spectre, going head to head with the Anti-Monitor, killing hundreds of Supermen around the multiverse, fooling and escaping Perpetua, battling the Empty Hand, proving to be mainline Superman's rival and sometimes superior. He has literally done it all. And unlike most villains, he is literally the ruler of an archetypal world that has plundered thousands of universes, taking away people's hopes and their freedom, and if they resist too much, their lives and souls. Darkseid is him, the fist of the great darkness, the one whose death nearly tore the multiverse apart and was felt throughout creation, a constant of evil that will remain against all odds and face Superman to the end of reality. So yeah, these are 5 of the strongest and most powerful enemies of the Justice League. If y'all wanna see more, like I said in the beginning of the video, for a part 2, all you gotta do is get this video to 100 likes, get it to 200, and I'll make a series of top 5 strongest rogues for various heroes. So please like and subscribe, and make sure to go to the comment section and let me know your thoughts on the video and the lineup I provided, as well as letting me know who else would you like to see. Would y'all be interested in an Avengers Rogues video? Whatever you guys decide, make sure to stay tuned in for more dope content coming very soon. So keep watch and see you all on the next video of the Fictional Matrix. God bless y'all.